Hello guys, and welcome to this special, it is a weekly stream, but today with a special episode. I hope all of you have seen our amazing Waterline video where Mr. Conway and me had fun looking into various cameras and sometimes not into the correct one, which I can actually explain. But yes, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. We wanted to give you the opportunity to see the things that we have been planning for the next few months and to give you the opportunity to get to know stuff about it, but also to ask your questions, and hopefully we can provide you with a little bit of insights later today. The setup today is a bit different. It's me alone here in the Prague office. Mr. Conway and Taki are not going to join me today. They're going to be here tomorrow for the Armchair Admirals episode number 4. And as you hopefully know by now, on the weekend we're going to have the King of the Sea regional final broadcasts. So it's going to be a very, very busy weekend. And volume low, it shouldn't be low. Please turn up your volume, because everything is fine here. And yeah, outside of that, I might not be the only person on the stream, because I invited very special guests that are going to be helping me with answering all of your questions that you might be having about Waterline and the other news that we have for today. So I'll just say welcome, Veseri and Shonai.
Hello.
Welcome world.
Welcome world, exactly. Yes, we're here with the guests from St. Petersburg. So maybe introduce yourself first if people don't know you by now. Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you here?
You're my boss. Start first.
No, this is not fair. Okay, hello everyone. You may know me as a Veseri. My name is Konstantin Pavlov. I'm working in St. Petersburg on World of Warships, as you may already understand. Our team is basically working on different articles, patch notes, videos, etc. content which you can find on our portal, in our dev blog, and much more different place. The most exciting thing that we are working with is with scripts for Dasha. Everyone likes it. Yes, and I'm basically the lead of this team. And latest thing, which you can see what we did, we working on preparation for this Waterline episode, and now we're here to support this Waterline and answer on your question.
And now it would be much easier to introduce me, because I just can say that I'm part of his team and that's it. And also I'm running the community contributor program for World of Warships. Yeah.
They're like Swiss Army knives. I can tell you this because I'm working very closely with them. And yeah, Waterline. Actually, if you want to watch the Russian version of the Waterline video, these would be your two hosts that would guide you through the Russian version. While for the English one, we have Mr. Conway and me. And I hope you enjoyed what we had to tell you.
But our version wasn't so perfect as you, because already you like to talk a lot.
We can talk a bit here, behind the scenes stuff while you guys are here. So when we were recording this, because you guys know that Mr. Conway, had a positive corona test. We recorded this on the very last day when we were in the office, before we had to leave, and we had actually Shonai and Veseri both watching us while we were recording this episode to tell us, like, maybe do this a bit different, maybe do this a little bit different. And it was super funny. And that's also part of the reason why we were looking into different cameras to figure out, okay, we wanted to give the video team some different perspectives to actually have some different shots and not just like the central shot. But we had to leave the office the next day, so we only had a limited amount of views that were actually on the cameras. So sometimes we love to look into the different camera. But yeah, it was good fun also recording this, the very first time that we did it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the format. And please tell us in chat whether the Waterline episode as it was, whether this is something that you would like to see in the future again. Because in the past we had also Waterline episodes that were a bit more detailed with very in-depth information. But now we wanted to go for a different setup where the information is a bit shorter in the video, but we can go more into details with the Q&As for the streams. So we're not just going to have this here today, we're also going to have Q&As if you, for example, from the Russian cluster, and your English isn't that great, there's going to be a Q&A tomorrow there, and we also have one for the North American stream. So plenty of opportunities to ask your questions.
Yes, this was one initial concept for our new Waterline. Short announcement into video, and then we talk a lot during our stream on different servers. Yes, and tomorrow Shonai will have a very exciting night, because during the North American stream there will be deep night in St. Petersburg around 1 a.m.
Yeah, 1 a.m.
1 a.m. Rip. But we love you for making that sacrifice for us to answer all of the questions. But yeah, chat seems to be enjoying it. So very happy that you guys already asked a lot of questions on the video, and I hope I got to answer quite a few of your questions. But maybe let's go through the topics a bit step by step. So there was obviously a lot to talk about, and the first topic was also kind of the biggest one that's going to be hitting World of Warships in the future, and that is the introduction of submarines. Now, hopefully you guys have already read the very long development blog post that we posted about what kind of things we want to change based on your feedback and the data we've collected from the very first big test that we did with submarines. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff to do, and one of the main topics we were talking about was, for example, the update of the sonar ping mechanics, or giving some kind of ASW, like the anti-submarine warfare for cruisers and battleships. But besides those, guys, what would you say are the most important changes that we're actually doing for submarines from the latest test?
I think the most exciting thing that we did for latest stage, and of course when we added anti-submarine armament on battleships and heavy cruisers, because this is what our player asked for a long time since the first test, and we did it. So now you have what you can say something against the submarine if you play on battleship, for example. Also, we did a lot of different changes, and as you correctly say, you can read about them on our dev blog. But what I waiting for more is this new updated sonar ping, because it's quite interesting new mechanic. It's easy to learn but hard to be master, like tactic, because you easy can hit ship by one wave and your torpedo will start slightly homing on the ship, but then you need to carefully calculate your second shot, and this is hit the same part of ship to achieve the highest efficiency of your torpedoes on submarines.
This, for me, probably the most expected thing outside of the anti-submarine warfare planes for battleships and cruisers would be the change to the hydrophones, like the sharing of information between different ships. And also, I really expecting something really awesome for update of the underwater world. I believe that it should look awesome, and also it would help to navigate submarine player underwater by adding a lot of additional details.
Yes, exactly. I mean, can you confirm that there will be a Kraken? Come on, tell me there's a Kraken. You've been asking for this for a long time. Just a Kraken grabbing a ship and then disappearing.
Maybe in some fun event, of course we will have Kraken and maybe more, but
So in a ranked battle.
We'll see in ranked battles, yes.
If you manage to get a Kraken in a ranked battle,
unleash the Kraken.
Yeah,
exactly.
I really imagine these development blog posts like super test something Kraken unleashed.
In ranked battles.
Exactly. Yeah, but just for you guys, I know that not all of you have actually participated in the submarines test, but the way we envision submarines to work, right, is to ping enemy ships. And for that, you have to aim. And with the first iteration, it was actually quite hard if you wanted to pin exactly a specific point on the ship, and you had to hit that same area again. So now it's going to be easier to do the first ping, but as a player who's getting pinged, you actually have more influence on how to play against the ship, right? Because that was one of the main concerns that we got from you guys is, okay, I'm, let's say, a cruiser, I'm a battleship, maybe even a DD. And I mean, about CBs we can maybe talk a bit separately, but how to actually play against this is a tricky part. And having that change of like, if you are aware of what's happening around you and you maneuver, you have a significantly better chance to reduce the damage that a submarine can do to you, compared to when you make mistakes and just keep sailing in a straight line and make it super easy for somebody else to ping you. So that was an important change for us, and also make it just easier to use, because obviously the first iteration was a big test.
Yes, this is now you will know if your ship was pinged by submarine, and you can just start to evasive maneuver against homing torpedoes, and more counterplay, more deep gameplay for submarines and ships on surface. I think it will be quite interesting, but we still need to see how it will work with mass testing. And if we will talk about next stage, I hope we will have next super test and then beta test stage in this year, until the end of this year, where everyone, I hope, will be able to test submarines with the latest changes.
Yeah. So goddamn DK is saying here, so basically just dodge and give broadside to everyone on the other side. It's not exactly this, but imagine it more like in the first test, you as a battleship, you didn't really have a lot of counterplay towards a submarine that is hunting you and is not actively being hunted by something else. But now you get actually feedback from the game. Okay, where, like, I got pinged. You, first of all, you know that you got pinged, so you're aware of the threat that is out there. Plus, you can actively maneuver just like against any other threat in the game, right? Be it, there's a DD somewhere around you and you roughly know, okay, torpedoes are going to be coming from there, or you're trying to angle against an enemy. You can do something similar here with submarines. And this is only for the direct counterplay, right? And you also suddenly have an option to defend yourself with the new mechanic we're going to add with the anti-submarine planes, where you can actually deal damage to the submarine. But this is not the only change we're going to apply to submarines and how they interact with other classes. One of the other changes that we are going to implement, or at least planning to implement at this point, is how detectability works for submarines versus other classes. Maybe you guys can talk a bit about what we're changing to make that interaction more fair.
During the last test, submarines had better concealment than destroyers, and this led to them like lighting the destroyers, and it was really hard for DDs to actually deal with submarines, the natural enemy. And in order to fix the situation, we change the detectability of surface ships of all classes by 1/3 for submarines. So, for example, if a ship has a 6-kilometer detectability range, then for submarine it will be only 4 kilometers. This will allow destroyers to actively hunt submarines without fear of being detected by them first. And also this will reduce the amount of spotting that submarines bring into the game, because this also applies for cruisers and battleships.
It's not even for hunting on DD for submarine, but more, I think, for hiding from submarine, because it was frustrating thing which happened with me on one playtest, when you just try to capture the point on DD, and that somewhere a submarine, and she spot you, and you can't just capture this point because this submarine spotting you always, and you just can move to her because you will be under focus fire. And now with these changes it won't happen, because you will be able just you won't have this over spotting from submarine against DDs, because this was the main pain point here.
And with extended range of hydrophone, you will actually know where she is.
Roughly know where.
Roughly, yes.
So yeah, we hope that these changes that we're talking about right now, this is what we're planning to do, right? So give us a bit of time to actually implement it and then run the test. But these are the things that we did to address the main pain points you had about the first test of Submarines. And obviously there's much, much more around it. But you were talking about the underwater world. Can you give some examples of what we're going to add there, if you know?
Not something specific, but we are planning to add various objects underwater because, first of all, this serves pure aesthetic, but also it adds something visible which can serve as an object to base your position on, so you kind of understand where you are on the map better. And also we will improve the visual effect, which illuminated the landscape underwater. This wave which went from submarine. This will also make it clearer where are you going, where is the terrain, where are the enemies, etc. And probably we will add fishes.
Perfect.
And Kraken.
Give me sharks. I want sharks. Hashtag go sharks. Did any of you pick eagles?
I didn't play World of Warships when Sharks vs. Eagles.
But what would you pick, sharks or eagles?
Eagles.
So guys, I'm sorry, we have to end this. We have to end this stream prematurely because there was a wrong answer in this Q&A. We actually ran this question in one of our anniversary quizzes, and most people got it right. Clearly, guys, if you have a choice between being a shark or being an eagle, the clear choice is be a shark. Always.
Maybe I was a shark too long because I played in baseball team which named Sharks, and maybe I too tried to be a shark. Now I choose a little bit different.
Yes, Mr. Conway is actually in the chat and trolling us with loving the poll feature. For example, right now he's asking who has the better beard, Chrysanthus, Veseri, last week's Shonai, or Conway lol. And Conway lol is winning because we all know that Conway and growing a beard is definitely not going to happen. I think he tried it for 2 weeks. He showed it on stream and we all had to laugh. It was a bit sad, but yeah. He was actually asking what kind of class I represent, and apparently your answer is CV. I have questions, and chat, please tell me why. But talking about CVs, do we have any? Because that question popped up in chat now quite often about. So how does counterplay for CVs work? Is this something that we are currently not touching, or is it something we have our eye on, or how does it work with submarines versus CVs?
We've increased the depth at which subs will be suffering damage from high explosive shells, including bombs and rockets. But other than that, at the moment, there will be nothing new for CVs, but there's, of course, some place for improvements in future.
But I think what the initial plan, maybe I'm wrong, but correct me, we don't want to, change the interaction between CV and submarines for now. We are happy to have it as it. Maybe we will change it in the future, but now, submarines are more counterclass to CVs sometimes. If they, find a CV, they can easily hunt it down, and, CV here should be a little bit careful if he knows that submarine can just hunt for him.
Yes, perfect. I just saw a question here that I wanted to answer quickly. A question about the known bug with the 5 epochs of the Navy mission 4, task 6. It says receive 540k damage, but actually counts damage caused. Yes, there's an issue there. We're going to fix it with the next update, as far as I know. And so because I saw a few questions about, okay, obviously when is this coming? When are submarines going to be implemented into random battles? And are we not afraid of breaking the game? Are we?
We are. This is why we test them for a long time, why we try different concepts, why we carefully hear your comments, your feedback, our players, I mean. And when they will be ready, then maybe we will add them. But for now, we need to test it and to be sure that everything is fine, everyone is enjoyable for them, and they will perfectly fit into random battles. Of course, there will be a lot of changes in meta when it happens, but we will see. But I think it's good stuff because when your meta change, you need to change your play style. You try to find new tactics. You need to find new ways how to achieve victory. What do you think about it?
About meta changes.
About submarines
Yeah,
in their future.
I believe that something new is always better because it helps you not to stay in the same place. And when you're playing the same game in the same like meta game with same ships, etc., it just may get boring.
Yep.
Yes. So thank you very much. I think, guys, if you have more questions about submarines, drop them right now because otherwise we'll be moving to the next topic. But yeah, keep in mind, all of this is work in progress. Mr. Conway, if you're still there, feel free to drop a link to the development and blog post that we had about submarines so you can read up on all of the other things that we're doing. Do we have an estimation of roughly when players could expect to be on another test?
Until the end of this year, I hope, if nothing went wrong, will just go wrong.
Okay.
By the way,
sorry, to keep going.
We will inform our players with for advance, so you will know that tests are coming around for a week before that. Maybe even we will announce that super tests are coming. So if you will see that super tests are coming with submarines, you will understand that soon we will have beta test for submarines.
Super toast is something that I will wait.
Super toast, yeah. What's super toast for you? do we want to know? No. So the question here was, so then the next test will also be potentially on the live server, and it will be in a separate mode, correct?
Yes, maybe. We'll see. We'll see on the result of beta test, and after that we will, understand what our next step, because it can go well and can go bad, and for different outcome we have different solution.
Perfect. And thank you, Sehales or Mr. Conway, for dropping the link here in the chat. Please also drop it into YouTube chat. So yeah, I think we can move on to the next topic. And guys, just pay attention to the portal, right? We will always inform you about upcoming things as we do here. The development blog is the first place where you will find new information. So just make sure to pay attention to this. You can find the development blog actually on several platforms. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it directly on the blog, right? Or you can, for example, just head to your regional forums. We will always keep you informed about the newest dev blogs that we can talk about. Okay. Then the next big topic that we have is actually ranked battles. We are planning a big change for ranked battles and how they're going to work. Up until now, ranked battles, as right now, are available in seasons. But this is going to change, Vesari, right?
Yes, we are going to start ranked constantly. They will, just have some maybe short technical breaks, yeah, between them. Just you will, if you come to game, you will know that now I can choose. I want to play, for example, ranked battles, co-op battles, or maybe go to ranked battles. You don't need to wait when next season come and etc. You just came to game and start play.
Okay, and so why are we actually making this change, going away from seasons and going for more like permanent introduction of it?
We still have the seasons technically. We'll have them, and they will, more technical stuff. But the reason that you always can log in the game, and you will know that right now you can join to ranked battles. This was the main reason, as I know.
Yeah.
Okay, and so for me as a player, how does it work when I jump into the new ranked season? I work my way up step by step, correct?
Yes. The funny story about ranked battles. Ranked battles is it changes really big, and we have a long discussion how to structure them in devlog, how to explain them, because in Waterline we just drop only few sentences about them and that's all. But in our devlog post, in our first announcement, we need to explain them really clear. And when we write this text, we tried a lot of different stuff how to start talk about it. We should start from stars and move to biggest thing step by step, or we should start from seasons and go to star, like different ways how to explain it. But for now we have what we have, and I think this is a perfect way how we can explain. Maybe we can do some improvements, and we will implement them when we will publish the portal article. But for now, I think this is pretty clear what we explain in our debug post.
And in a simple form, when we talk how will it work for a player, you start playing, you play until you reach the first rank, you get into qualification, you pass the qualification, and next sprint, the interval of like 1 to 3 weeks, you will be playing in the next league if you pass the qualification. If no, you will get back to the beginning of your current league, and you will go all the way again to the first rank. The difference here is that with the reset of sprint, rewards will be also reset, so you can get them again. And if you move to the next league, you will get better rewards, but also more skilled enemies and allies, and also bigger rewards. And so, as you can move only one league per sprint, so for example, when we have 3 leagues, the most skilled players will join Gold League in the 3rd sprint. And in the 4th and for example 5th, more players may join that league too and try to get the best rewards.
Perfect. Yes. So, guys, I'm also showing here a few of the infographics just to visualize a bit, how this is going to work. So, the system with the ranks, as Vesri said, it stays for now as it is, but it doesn't mean we're not going to potentially make improvements to this mode in the future. For now, we're just changing the way the framework works in terms of, like how long a season lasts, how you actually progress step by step. And in terms of rewards, are we going to make any changes? Are people going to be earning the same kind of resources? What are we doing there?
Taking into account that ranked battles will go constantly, of course there will be changes. But for now it's too early to talk about them, and when we will ready to announce anything about rewards, we will do it. But for now, nothing what we can tell exactly. Just maybe you can see we added new achievements.
Yes.
Camouflage, but it's more,
Cosmetic reward.
Cosmetic rewards, yes, of course. You still will be able to get steel, but basically, I just have a question about: are you sure that rewards, if you stay in the same league, will be reset for you?
As far as I remember, yes, except the reward for first rank and qualification. But rewards for amount of wins, yes. Otherwise, it would be strange if you progress the league. Why then you will play again with no additional rewards? And this way, for example, you may, if you have 5 sprints, get 5 times rewards from Bronze League. This is like the one scenario, or you can get 1 times bronze, 1 times silver, and 3 times gold.
Okay, so if I have a power, except instead of my hands, I can just constantly play in Bronze League with a player who have powers the same, and will get rewards. Nice. And the most important thing that I think very nice to have a new ranked, that you get rewards for amount of wins. So. Yes. Now you can just have this, I don't know how to say in English, when you say lose win, yes, and you stay on the same rank for
a long time.
Yes, for
The
now.
struggle is real sometimes in ranked. I think we've all been there.
Yes, but for now you will get rewards for that because you need to, achieve current amount of wins during this sprint.
That's a very nice change. I think everybody will appreciate this. On top of that, we have a few questions here about divisioning up in ranked, and we are currently not allowing this, and we're also not planning to change this.
Yes.
Maybe to give some context, why do we not allow divisions in ranked at the moment?
Because it's too small amount of people playing in ranked battles, and if we will allow divisions, it will break the balance, and also will increase amount of time which you're waiting in queue to go into next battle, because you should have at least one squad against you, and you need time to find it, etc., etc.
Yeah, so it's basically it's too unfair, right? The teams are small, and the smaller the teams, the more impactful the division will be, because you can communicate better, right? Where we do allow this is actually for ranked sprints, where you can division up with at least one additional person. And I've seen this question before. So what about the sprints that we have? How will they be affected by this change?
They will become the part of the updated clan blitz. They will be no longer clan brawl. Sorry, and you will be able to play them without being in a clan. So something like 1v1 or 3v3 will be moved to the separate type of battle.
Well, 3 versus 3 was amazing. Yes. It's nice mod. Everyone like it, and we like it too. And I'm sure we will make it again in future.
Yeah, love it. Like, the only change that I would ask for is to be able to also play in like a triple division and just have like triple divisions play against each other. But for me,
triple Pommern.
Yeah, triple Pommern would be, yes. If it's tier 9, the Pommern, I had some fun. One or two fun matches, I would say. No, it was really, really cool. I love these 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 kind of setups, because they're very different from random battles, and you get to use very specific ship setups if you want to. You can take something like triple Pommern, which I would usually not recommend you to take into a random battle, but here it's absolutely fine. You can become basically the full Pommern division with torpedoes.
I don't know, I had a ton of fun with triple Pommern division and ranked battle.
In random. In randoms, really? Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It was just
okay.
awesome.
This is one of the ships where I would say it's okay. It's okay to do it. I'm still triggered by only one class divisions, but it's okay. And there was a comment here by General Tornado, who says, "Hey, that's a pathetic answer about not allowing people in divisions because for him it makes ranked more fun by allowing people to play with your buddies." We understand this. Yes, it's more fun to play with people you know, but for ranked, we think it's unfair. If you want to do this, you can play this in sprints. You can in the future. I mean, right now you can also do it in brawls, right, within the clan. But in the future, you'll be able to do this in brawls, and the brawls usually vary in size of teams. And on top of that, you can always play also clan battles, where you can get a bigger amount of friends together and just play and have some fun, or grind your steel, whatever drives you to be part of that, right? So, but in certain aspects of the game. Also for random battles, we do not want to increase the size of divisions at the moment, because we think it's going to be too impactful. That's just our responsibility here, and we don't want to make that change. But so I hope you understand this. Yes, guys, do you have any other questions about ranked battles? I'm showing here in the background. I'm showing the camouflages that we've been talking about. With the names bronze, silver, and gold. So hopefully you can connect to which leagues they actually belong. And here we also have the Jolly Roger new assets that you will be able to get. So
now we have answer on the question: Gold Missouri when? Soon, TM.
Soon, TM. Okay, great. And I don't see any major questions. I mean, there's one question about that we see a lot of times, and it also affects ranked skill-based matchmaking. Is there anything planned for skill-based matchmaking for example, for ranked?
In ranks, you are matched only against players in the same league, or if you're passing a qualification, with players from the same qualification and the next league. So if you're playing, for example, in Gold League, you will play only with other commanders from Gold League. This is something close to the skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah. C-Crowds is asking here, are you thinking about changing the way stars earn money? For example, you could say you need a certain amount of base XP instead of victories. So this is something, as far as I know, that we're not planning. The base XP won't really get taken into account, but what we're changing is that you are not based on, like you won't get rewards based on the progress in the ranks for the rank itself, but actually for the amount of wins, which should be fairer. And at the end of the day, in a mode like ranked battles, you should play as a team to win, not to get your best base XP score. That's something that I know can sometimes be frustrating when you do your very best. You get to keep your star at least, right, in the top position. But overall, it's a team effort. And sometimes you have somebody who might not have been rewarded in the perfect way, in the way he spotted, for example, the entire enemy fleet, but he contributed a lot, or he took care of something that would have otherwise meant losing the battle. And he might not have the best XP score, but he won for the team. And this is something to always keep in mind, that World of Warships is a team-based battle. Yes, it's obviously in ranked, for example, a random assortment of players, but they have to play as a team, and we want to reward them as a team. So that's the whole concept behind it. So at least for now, this is not a change that we're planning or that I know about. And Captain Minia, I hope that also addresses your question about how the new ranked system is going to affect rewards. So yes, we're obviously going to change up a few things in terms of rewards when you can see the new camouflages and so on that you will be able to get. But you will still be able to get steel. You'll probably still be able to get coal, depending on what kind of mode we're talking about, right? Within sprints or what it's going to be in the future, it's going to be brawls. And the ranked system. So, but give us a bit of time to give you more information about how this is going to look like in the finalized version. We just wanted to make sure that you guys know what we're planning to change, that you can already adapt a little bit. One of the coolest things I actually personally like is that within the different leagues, there might also be different tiers, right?
Yes.
And this is something that I personally really look forward to, because yes, you can, for example, right now you play a ranked season. It's purely on tier 10. So you will just grind your way through that entire season on tier 10. But in the future, being able to switch up your experience in ranked with different tiers and different things you're going to be facing, that's at least for me personally something I'm really looking forward to, and a nice welcome change.
Yes, now you can, for example, play in bronze on tier 7, tier 8 ships, then move to silver and play in tier 8 ships, and then move to gold league and play on tier 10, for example. We'll see all details for each season. Will be, changes from season to season.
Perfect. And Captain Mini is asking, so exclusive rewards to ranks, such as the League flags or Jolly Roger flags. Are we going to have League flags?
No, we are removing League flags because with the constantly ongoing ranked battles, these flags will remain with players almost forever. If you, for example, get to the Silver League in like a week or so, then you will have for several weeks you will have it with you, and then with short break you will get it again, and these have a rather noticeable impact on economy. So the League flags are removed. The Jolly Roger achievement is split into 3 for each one for each league, and also we will keep the memorable flag, which is given for now it's given for reaching rank 12, if I remember correctly, and in new system it will be given out for reaching the first rank of Bronze League.
Okay, perfect. And there's a question here from YouTube from Kailash Sunga. Can a team be a little smaller? We do that. Obviously, for example, in ranked, you will face smaller teams compared to random battles. But the best chance is actually with brawls, because brawls have a huge variety of setups in terms of team sizes and rules and so on. So this is probably, if you haven't played any brawls or what we have right now with ranked sprints yet, then I would highly recommend you to check this out, because it's a really cool, different experience to have in World of Warships compared to your daily average gameplay experience. Okay, cool. I think that's pretty much all of the questions I've seen here for the topic of ranked battles. And then we have something new coming up with the Halloween mode this year, which is not going to be about Rasputin. So let's talk a bit about the new Halloween mode. So what can players expect? In the Waterline episode, we already brushed over a few of the aspects, like the core pillars of what players can expect. It's going to be a huge map, and I'm going to show you in the background a few of the images that we have here for you today. So, guys, do you want to explain a bit what the new mode is going to be about?
Yeah. Do you remember the last year's Raid for the Filth, when players started to cooperate instead of fighting each other, and like sort of diplomatic relations appeared in the battles, but this was not supported by the game itself, so players still remained enemies to each other. And here in new battle mode called Key Battle, battle type called Key Battle, we will have an integrated diplomacy. So there will be 16 players in total, and they each are fighting free for all, but during battle you can invite someone to division, and if he joins you, then he becomes your ally, and the division of up to 3 players can be formed. The main idea is to get some battle points. It's a temporary resource which is useful both in and outside of the battle, by destroying monsters and destroying other players. And then you should find the key to activate the portal. There are several keys, but much less than number of players. You get the key, you get to the portal, you exit through the portal and get much more battle points in the end. And then you exchange them for different rewards, like for example, Infernal Permanent Camouflage for tier 8 or tier 9 ships. And in the battle, you will be able to improve your ship by when you reach a certain amount of battle points. They are not spared, so when you upgrade your ship, you don't lose any of your points. And then you get the key, and you have to decide either to use it by yourself or help your ally to find another key. Or maybe you want to grab his key, because the key is used only by one person, not by the whole division. You may form a division or leave it at any moment in time. So this is something that was partly inspired by the player-decided diplomacy in the Raid for the Filth.
Sorry to interrupt here. There was a question about pre-formed division. So this is not going to be possible in this mode, right? You have to division up once you're in the mode.
Yes, you start solo always. And coming back to the ships themselves and monsters, like, yes, this is one of the monsters. The theme of this event is not as greenish as the previous year. It's a bit more science fictional, maybe, and the ships follow up to this idea. And regarding the ships, first of all, you will be able to upgrade them in a battle, as I've said. You have to, for example, when you reach a certain amount of points, you will be provided with a choice between getting some HP regeneration or increasing the damage you deal by your guns. But that's not the only part of upgrading the ships. In port, by completing combat missions on these ships, you will be able to change the models they have, and each ship will have like 12 or 15, I don't remember exactly, modules which can be replaced. And oh boy, this is awesome. You may change your guns and replace them, for example, with torpedo firing guns, which fire torpedoes, which disable enemies' guns but deal less damage, or like wave throwers, which destroy enemy torpedoes, or laser guns, or plasma throwers, which heat up the armor of the enemy, and the more heated it is, the more damage plasma guns will deal. And I don't know what else can be mentioned, like you it looks like you dislike this completely ahistorical thing.
I just had one question.
Yeah.
Sure.
What did you see when you just create this with our game designers? What is this combination of Star Wars, Game of Thrones, I don't know, like Cyberpunk, and just combine everything?
Yeah, here's the screenshot of the interface, mostly blurred because it was only in Russian at the moment. But here you may see that you have 3 different types of hull, 3 different types of your module which influence consumables, 3 different types of armament, etc. And for example, when you choose between hulls, you may choose like the basic one which have basic maneuverability, etc., or a special ramming hull which increases the damage you deal and decrease the damage you receive when you're ramming the enemy.
And your visual of your ship will change, depends on
Yes,
the model which you choose.
Each model, including hull, including the special one for consumables, etc., will change the look of the ship.
Separate game when?
Yeah, but it's a cool new thing to test. Yes, and I'm curious how these upgrades are going to work during the battle. And this map is going to be crazy huge, right?
Yes. It will be so huge that we decided to get rid of the square format minimap, and we will use the round one, which will show objects only up to the length of your vision range. Because showing this huge minimap in a square format in the same size as we used to will just not be that useful.
Cool. That sounds really great.
This is mostly not like a Halloween time mod.
Yeah.
It mostly just future specific, like far galaxy from far away galaxy or something. Just you don't need to just combine it with, especially with Halloween, just another fancy, nice looking event.
Like an arms race.
Yes.
Arm race is amazing.
Yes, I mean this in general is an approach of us, right? So we use these modes to test mechanics and to then potentially introduce them in a different form or way into the game later on, right? Are we currently testing any mechanics through this gameplay so we can introduce this potentially in the future to the game or not?
We are having a lot of new different mechanics in this mode, but not something specific is gold as to be tested before implementing it into the game. Like we are having more some changes to user interface. We are having new armament mechanics, but as for introducing them to the game, no.
I think plasma torpedoes will be perfectly fit on my torpedoes.
Perfectly, yes. I'll take the 2 for mine. I mean, this brings me to another question that's also asked here in chat, because we have players asking for more unusual battle modes. Not everybody, obviously, right? Everybody has a different preference. But Rogue Wave, for example, was a cool way to test things. Then we, for example, had Arms Race. Also as a test, and Shipper Hotep here, for example, is asking whether we are planning to add Arms Race to random battles. Are we planning to do such things, or is it rather a test for just potential future stuff?
Me?
I just lose the main point of question from Chris. Sorry, Victor will answer.
Well, it's basically a twofold question. I'll make it easy. So, first question is Arms Race in randoms, yes or no? Potentially, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe
okay.
Yes,
maybe,
potentially
yes.
With high chance.
Okay,
because
and then
we already tested ranked.
And then taking a mode like Arms Race as an example, are we planning to use other unusual modes to bring to the game?
We are going anyway. We just in September we had this asymmetrical battles, and we like it. Yes, they had some problems with balance, with bots, with any other stuff. We understand this is quite new feature for us. We will improve it in future, and with higher chance, we will just bring them back. I think that other stuff which we tested, or we, our game designers have a lot of crazy ideas, and I think we will evolve our modes and add new spicy features to them in future. We test them and then maybe add. We have a separate team which name Fresh and Dom, which mean update and make our random battles, not only random battles but maybe other type of battles, shiny, more exciting, added new experience. You will have just new stuff for old boring modes.
Okay, and do we already have something we can share about potential rewards that players can get from this mode?
Yes, of course. By spending their battle points, they will be able to get, for example, as the biggest rewards, the tier 8 and tier 9 Infernal Camouflage from the previous year. There also will be some new commanders which will helm these ships, and they will also be available as a reward, and some other stuff from previous years.
There's a question here from YouTube. Are we going to be able to get these camouflages that we can see, the special skins from the mode?
Not now.
Not now. Okay, not now. Yeah, Vlado is also asking, would you add more permanent camouflages? And the answer to this, I can give you that, is a clear yes. Obviously, we will be adding more permanent camouflages. Just stay tuned. There will be plenty of more, but it's actually very common by now for us to add more permanent camouflages that you can use on your ships. A good example would be, for example, upcoming USBBs, right, that will have special permanent camouflage and so on. So don't worry. There's plenty of cool cosmetics coming to the game that you can use for yourself. Are you going to sell the Great Gorgon camo for the Shokaku Grease Monkey? You know the rules here. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you what we're going to sell in the future, but of course there's a chance that you might get your hands back on this beautiful, beautiful Gorgon camouflage for the Shokaku. Anything else, chat, that you would like to know about this mode? Obviously, this is very, very early information. That's why we don't have any gameplay we can show here to you. That's simply too early for this. But as soon as we have a bit more we can share with you, we will do this through the dev blog or otherwise on streams or both. And there was one question that a lot of players had here in terms of divisioning up. So what's the reasoning behind not allowing players to division up from the get-go and only allow this for them in the battle than itself?
Because this is one of the important parts of this battle mode, the in-game diplomacy. If you're starting in division, then you will have a clear upper hand against others, first of all. And second of all, the new feature which we would like to test will have much less impact on the game, and it will be less of use.
Cool.
But nevertheless, you can still drop in with your friend and hope to get into the same battle, and then find each other on a map which is 4 times huger than the biggest map we have now in game, and hope that not monsters, not other players will be in your way. And then find 2 keys. But if you wish, you can turn your guns against your friend when you find the first key.
Don't tell Conway, please. Prolemac is asking, when is the release date of this mode? Well, I would expect it around Halloween. That would be probably a good time frame to expect this to actually hit our server. And final question I'll take for this one is from Draculi, and he's asking, are the CVs going to be allowed in this mode?
At the moment, we will have only 3 ships, and they will be, if I remember correctly, 2 cruisers and 1 battleship.
Okay, cool. We just talked about rewards here, about this mode, and I saw a few comments about something that we talked about in the Waterline video, and that is we are going to be adding a new additional option how to knock, for example, snowflakes or gift flakes, depending on what event we're running, right, off your ships. So what we said is that we're going to be introducing something new where you would be able to just reach a certain amount of base XP, and that would be enough without the victory as a condition to knock off that snowflake off your ship. But this doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to do this through co-op. So you can still go into co-op, get your win, get your snowflake if this is what you prefer. We're not going to force you into randoms, but we also don't want you to go into co-op, right, and say like, you know what, it's going to be too tricky for me to get the victories in time, so it's going to be tied to a base XP score. We don't have the exact numbers right now, so we cannot share them here with you, but I just wanted to clarify, for Snowflakes, you will have 2 options in the future, base XP or the victory, so it should be significantly more comfortable for you to do this. So I just wanted to clarify here. So feel free to clip it and share it with your friends if they got spooked by, oh no, I cannot do this with my co-op mode anymore. 20k base XP, exactly reloaded in 1 battle. Easy. You should be able to do this. Just take your sims. Best multiplier. Okay, then we had another big topic, hybrids. And hybrids, just as explanation, what are hybrids, right? So hybrids are actually cruisers or battleships that were able to use main battery guns, but also were able to launch planes, squadrons to attack. And this is something that you guys have been asking for a very long time for ships like, for example, the Tone. And this is something we're working on right now. Shonai or Vesari, whoever wants to take this, so hybrids, how is this going to work for a player? It's half CV, half regular surface ship. How am I going to play this?
This is, first of all, this basic surface ship, which has an additional option of launching a plane squadron, but in the same way CVs do it. So, for example, you double-click the button, then your controls are transferred to the squadron. You control the ship using tactical minimap and autopilot, and then you play with a squadron, you drop off the load, and then you get back to your ship. That's pretty much it. There are some minor differences to CVs and to the surface ships. So, for example, they won't have automated consumables like CVs do. The planes will have a small boost when they take off, and the squadrons will be of small size, but maybe they may have a rather decent amount of hit points. That's pretty much it. And the main idea is that you combine the damage you get from these planes with other capabilities of your ship. So, for example, you fire in a medium range, you fire a cell, then while you're reloading, you take your squadron and drop a couple of torpedoes, then you get back to your ship and fire again. That's pretty much it. And of course, these ships are in early testing stages. They are in test of pretty much technical stuff right now, not the balance stuff. And I've seen questions regarding which type of planes we've chosen for hybrids, for example, why we've chosen torpedo bombers, not dive bombers, and the answer is that we will try out different types of squadron if it's needed. So I believe that anything that relates to the question of balancing these ships and their settings and stuff is pretty much in the future, but right now we've only tested the technical capabilities of the design, the idea.
And what ships are we talking about?
Primarily Tone and Iso.
There you go, chat. I know you wanted to hear this, so Ise and Tone, we're testing them. But give us a bit of time, because obviously it's not that easy. So it will take a while. And this is not going to be a separate class, correct? They're going to be part of that specific class that they belong to, right? Okay.
Yes.
Do we have a video to show?
I don't have the video here, so you just have to watch the Waterline episode, and you will see the actual mechanic. But it's quite intuitive in that sense, right? That you will just launch a squadron like you do from a CV with the push of a button, and then you will switch to that point of view. And when you dismiss the squadron, you will go back to the ship and take control. So there will be a challenge, obviously, to be able to control both and get the maximum out of it. So that should be quite interesting. What tasks should a hybrid actually do in the game from our point of view?
Just it's the same what you do as the other ships of this class do. You know, if you fight on cruiser, you're still playing like on a cruiser. Just you have additional option to just fly on planes and drop torpedoes, bombs, whatever they will carry it. and just maybe influence on a game. You will have a less guns, but you have additional option. And sometimes maybe you need to find a little bit another way how to play. Maybe you need to sneak under the island, or just try different tactics. We'll see how it works. It's still under test. We have some vision of it, but we want to just push it to everyone. You just need to try it when it will be available and see how it will work. So especially for our super testers, contributor, and other volunteers who will able to try it on a super test stages.
Exactly. Camo 1962 is asking, can you tell us how many have asked for hybrid ships? So we cannot give you exact numbers, right? But it's the same topic as with, for example, submarines. A lot of people are asking for these things. When it comes to Ise and Tone, especially due to their historical relevance as well, right? They were historical ships and they have a unique design. This is something that a lot of players have been asking for. Obviously, not everybody. And yes, the balancing is going to be a big challenge, right? To make it fun, to make it balanced, to have proper counterplay, to be able to also control it in a way that you don't have to relearn the entire game. So this is always a challenge for us as well, as it is with submarines, right? And we're taking our time to make the necessary steps to avoid the mistakes that we did, for example, with the CV rework. And we're still working a lot on CVs. You can just take a look at what we're currently testing with the detectability changes with CVs and other classes. So we understand that this might be a concern, and we're doing our very best to launch them in a way that it's going to be fun for both players who play it and players who play against it. Yes. What else do we have here? What about spotting bringing these hybrid ships? I think this is a bit too detailed question at this point in terms of how much the spotting will be rewarded for the hybrids, unless you guys have already some info on that. I mean, the spotting should work the same way as it does with other planes, right?
Yes, and now it's working for other ships, but you need just to keep in your mind that we are now working with testing two changes in spotting mechanics for surface ships. You can find more details in the blog. Especially, it was more should affect more our DDs. If you have a weak A, by current concept, you just can turn off UA, and you will decrease your detectability range from air in twice. So, for example, if we will take Kamikaze, and her detectability from air for now is around 2.5 kilometers, if I remember correctly, or 3.5. And with these changes, if testing will be successful, the detectability range for Kamikaze will be around 1.5 kilometers, for example. And it's much more harder for CV to find these ships, because it's you need to spend a lot of time to do it. Yes, you can just try to do it, but you will lose a lot of time. And if destroyer understand what he should do against the planes.
Yes, so that should be a cool thing. We're still testing it, so give us a bit of time. But yeah, taking the example of the Kamikaze, right? If you would have 2.7 kilometers for Shima, you would drop down to 1.3, 1.4, right? Which makes it significantly more difficult for the CV to launch his attack once you're spotted and to be able to apply the damage to you. So that should definitely help in that regard. There was a question here about hybrids. Are they going to be a separate tree or branch, or are they going to be just individually added?
I think for first time we will have only separate ships, like premium ships, maybe special ships, but we'll see. For now, I don't have any information about maybe upcoming branches of hybrid ships, but if we will have such plans, we will announce, of course, information in our dev blog.
Cool. what else was here? Obviously, there are questions about the I-400. So submarine that would be able to launch planes. Well, we don't have submarines in the game yet. So this is something for the future. Give us a bit of time. Let's get submarines right, then implement them, and then we can talk about potentially adding their hybrids like the I-400. But this is like far future music, so let's not get into this. I know that you would like to know, but just to manage your expectations. For now, this will be either cruisers or battleships that we're planning like this. And there was a cool question here. Let me scroll down. Yes, so for the mechanic, have we considered to allow players to stay with the point of view of planes? So let's say I'm a player, right? I launch the planes. I want to attack. But then I see, okay, my main battery is reloaded. I will return to the ship, and the squadron is still going to be in the air, and I can return to this. So are we looking into this, or is this something that for now we are not going to look at?
No, with higher chance we won't change it. You can't just sit on two chairs simultaneously. You need to choose, or you rule your planes, or you shoot from your main gains.
Okay. And can hybrids division up with CVs? Do we know this already? That's a question from Dr. Venture.
No, it's problems of future, as we can't tell any details now. We will see in future.
Okay, perfect. There's a question that's slightly related. I can answer this. So Captain Cooter is asking, when will the uneven carriers get back in the game? So I hope you at least got a little bit of the anniversary stream that we had last week. And we had a special guest, actually, Sergei Vorobiev, our development director, who was talking about the uneven tiered CVs and their future. So at this point, we don't know when we're going to be adding them. But the current concept that we have in mind, and this is not finalized or anything, but that's the idea that we have in mind for them, is to give them a completely different playstyle compared to the current CVs that we have. So this would be a significantly different thing to play compared to current CVs. So this will take some time. And as soon as we have more information, we will share it with you. But I wouldn't expect this in the near to midterm future, because this obviously takes a lot of time, and we have a lot of other things to do at the moment. So hopefully they will be in the game at some point in the future. How? We'll have to see, Captain Cooter. But I hope that at least helps you, at least know roughly what we're going to do. Rafael Azuyay is saying he needs 3 containers of King of the Sea. Make sure to tune in on the weekend when we have the regional finals for King of the Sea, where you can get 1 additional King of the Sea container through Twitch drops. And for the international finals, there will be another one. Plus, I hope you already did your missions. If not, just finish the missions. There are 8 containers available with this King of the Sea tournament, and there will be more containers available in the future with future King of the Sea tournaments. So we hope you get to get your tier 7 premium container. I'm still waiting for mine as well. I was not as you are probably, and already finishing my collection, because last time I missed 1 container because I was on the stream, not watching the stream, and not getting the Twitch drop. I think that are the questions for hybrids. We have one more topic before we get into. I can already tell you this, guys. We have some Italian battleships to show you, so stick with us for a while. The last bigger topic that we have is, well, actually 2, if we also go for New Year's. But update of commander skills. Obviously, a huge change that we're planning to the game. At least in the sense of like how it might affect you as a player, that you have to learn new things about the game or adapt a bit what we're going to do. So first of all, new commander skill system includes upping the amount of the commander points that you will be able to have on one commander from 19 to 21. I know that you have questions about how much XP is it going to take. I'll just hand that over to Shona or Veseri. Like roughly, what can players expect there? Obviously, we don't have an exact number here with us, but roughly, how would that work for players?
First thing we need to tell this here is that your 19 points commander won't be transferred on 21 points, so you need to grind it out. How many it will take? Can we tell it? How many? Do we know numbers?
No.
No, we can't tell.
It will be in the same line of progression as it is now.
So around maybe maybe in 2 times more than now you need to achieve from 18 to 19, maybe kind of like that, but it's just thoughts. We don't know exact numbers now, but we'll share in the blog. Of course, we now analyzing the feedback which you provided on our latest dev blog about commander skills. We collected it now. We provided it to our game designers team. Thank you everyone for your comments. And now they working on second iteration. They got information from our super testers who tested it. They got information from you. They got information from our community managers. Yes. And now we are working on second iteration, and when we'll be ready to announce future changes of this concept, I hope we will give you more details about how many XP it will be required and another changes and details.
Yes, so thank you guys for providing the feedback. If you don't know what we're talking about right now, we also have a development blog post about this that also has a link to the file with all of the specific skills we're going to add. So if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, you're able to have a commander for all classes with the same setup of skills, right? You get to pick which ones you want to have, but if you wanted to, for example, have a different build for a cruiser or a battleship, you would have to retrain that commander. In the future, with the new commander skill system, you will be able to have for each class a different setup for the commander, which should make it much easier to use your commander on different ships. Let's say, for example, you have your Kuznetsov, right? And you want to use it on a BB and on a cruiser, but you want to have different setups. So you can do this then in the future. And we are changing skills, we're adding new skills, and this is obviously something that needs to be tweaked. We saw a lot of feedback, right? And then questions about what about this specific ship, like Atlanta or so on. We are looking at this, and we're going to make tweaks, and we'll let you know what else we're going to do. I see here a question related to this from Head of Credit Cards. He says, will special unique captains be changed as a part of the captain rework?
Yes, of course they will be changed, and maybe here will be some tweaks for their unique skills, but with hard chance their unique talents will stay unchanged. For now, this is current plan.
Okay, Ricky LQ is asking, I can no longer use BB built on Alaska or DD built on Atlanta with the new system. That is correct, yes. I mean, obviously, because you have different skill trees for different classes, you will have to make different decisions, which gives you a bit more freedom. But yes, you can also not, let's say, abuse or misuse skills that are intended for a different class on another ship, which might be a creative use, right? But we'll still make changes, so don't worry too much. But overall, yes, this will not be able. You will not be able to use exactly the same skills because the skill trees are different from class to class, and you're bound by the class for that ship. Yes, so the same question from Captran about changing the enhanced skill of unique commanders to align with the new commander skill trees. So we'll share more information about this in the future, how unique commanders are going to be affected by this. So please stay tuned. Do you guys have any other questions about commanders?
Chris, I've got a question to you.
To me, okay.
Yes. What's your favorite change in the commander skills change? Do you have one?
Do I have one?
Any skill, anything related to it, any like change of something not about the exact skill?
I mean, for me, honestly, for me, the big thing I like about this change in general is that I'm going to be able to use commanders for different classes. There's not like one specific skill that stands out to me, but for me, it's really about not because I have 400 ships, and I have hundreds of commanders. And whenever I play ships and I need to go, and I made this huge mistake about I think the last free commander respec that we had after a clan battle season, I went through all of my commanders, and I mean all of them that have more than 6 skill points, every single one of them, and I reset all of them. And now I'm sitting there, and every time I want to play a new ship, it's like, oh yeah, I have a specialized commander for this one. Let me build it. And just to be able in the future to have like a commander, I just spec him for the different classes that I want to use him on, and I can just move him without going for retraining or back and forth. That's personally for me a huge quality of life change. So that's for me. You save my time, you're in my heart. So that's what I personally love.
Let me quote yourself. Wrong answer.
Wow. Okay. Wrong answer.
Yes. As for me, the best change is the increase of base secondary armament firing range.
Okay.
For each, like, I just don't know, and the amount of skills for secondary battleships and the way they work. This is something that I kind of expecting with all my heart, because like this will bring all of my secondary focused battleships back like beasts, I believe.
Okay, I have a counter question to you. Are you going to give me a secondary reload booster for the Mikasa? You're laughing. I've been asking for this for several years by now. Everybody's just laughing at me. The Mikasa needs a buff, and it's not for the main batteries. We need to have a reload booster. And chat, you agree with me, right? Mikasas, they secondary battles with Mikasas. Best thing you can do after a Bismarck battle with secondaries.
You know,
yes, buff Mikasa. See, chat is on my side. Chat.
No.
Yes.
No.
Chat, give me an X if you agree with me. Hashtag blame Mr. Conway. We always blame Mr. Conway, even though he's not here. He's probably in the background.
Disappointing thing in this reworks that you're not more able to put survivability expert on your battleship. I blame new system for that.
So you cannot spot the bad battleship play on the enemy team that quickly. Yeah?
No, I can't increase the survivability on my battleship.
Yes. It can be very useful. Come on, it's like a few % of extra HP that you can use. So, chat, please don't do this. Survivability expert on BBs? No. Don't do it. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there are many more questions about the commander skills. And do we want to talk quickly about New Year, or do we want to go to Italian BBs? I'll leave that up to you.
Up to you, basically.
Up to me, chat. I know you want to see Italian BB, so let me just quickly, because it was in Waterline, so I just want to wrap this up. If you watched Waterline, you might have some questions about this. So we're going to have a new dockyard event that's going to be happening at the end of the year for New Year. And I hope that you like the changes that we made since last year's New Year event, right, with Puerto Rico. We know we made mistakes, but I hope that you can see with all of the changes that we made for Udine, or for example for Anchorage, that it should be on a good way. And I hope you like these events. And I personally love to be able to build my ships. And we cannot spoil what's going to be in there, right?
But we can tell that you will build more than one ship.
Oh yes, you're gonna be building more than one ship, so that should be a cool event towards the end of the year. And there's gonna be a new port also coming.
You don't know about it?
Okay. Aren't there going to be not just more than one, but also more than that? No, I'm not going to spoil it. But I saw what's in there in chat. It's gonna be cool. So you will have to wait a bit for more detailed information. But this new year should have some really cool content. There will also be a new permanent camouflage for Tier 9 ships that you can mount on your favorite ships. And the snowflake change we already talked about. I just want to highlight this here once more. So currently the way snowflakes work is that in order to get the reward for the snowflake, you will have to win a battle. Doesn't matter whether it's in co-op or whether it's in random battles, right? You just have to win the battle. Now, this can be a bit more frustrating in random battles, right? Because they're significantly harder than co-op. So what we're doing is we're adding a new option, not removing the win option, to have base XP as a condition. So you don't have to necessarily win the battle, but you have to clear a certain base XP score. We don't have the exact number yet, and we also don't have a ballpark figure that we could tell players, right?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, chat. I wanted to, but we don't have it yet. What can players get for free? Can we already say this?
What you can get for free during this new year?
Yes.
It will be a lot of stuff. We can't tell you exactly what for now. Later, maybe.
No, nobody's listening. We can just talk about it.
We can, everyone waiting for our videos with Italian battleships.
Yes, of course they are. But I think for this they would be willing to wait a minute longer. No, we cannot tell you. Sorry, chat. Where's Kitakami?
In testing?
In testing, and we will test her for a long time. It's complicated ship, which require a special way how to work with her, and we need to test it for a long time, and we'll see. For now, we don't know and can't tell anything.
So don't expect any news anytime soon. So this is not for the near future, guys. Evan is here and he says no leaking. Come on, Evan, you love it too. You wanna jump in and tell us a bit about future stuff that is going to come to the game? Chat. I hope you know Evan. He's our regional publishing director for the NA region, and he used to be executive producer for World of Warships from the St. Petersburg office, and always a very, very welcome guest to any of our streams. And sometimes he would even tell us about stuff that we didn't know about beforehand. But he's safely hiding in chat, I think. not leaking anything. Okay, then something that you guys have not been waiting for a very long time is the topic of Italian battleships. It's not like for this entire year. On every single stream, I've been sitting here and you guys have been asking me, so when are we going to have Italian battleships? When Italian BBs? Italian BBs, what are you doing? Why are you giving us all of these other ships and not Italian BBs? So they are coming. We can
Are
tell
you sure
this.
about it? Because I think we should talk about split of Soviet battleships, no?
I thought we're going for Soviet CVs first here. No?
Soviet CVs, yes.
Yes, right after the Swiss CVs. No, guys, we're going to be talking about Italian battleships, and I hope you're hyped about this. And so first of all, we are going to have an Italian battleship branch. Today we have a few videos for you to be able to see what's going to come.
Nice.
But we don't have all of the assets here, right? So we can talk a bit about what kind of what the traits are of the ships and what ships we're currently planning to add. So here I have a little bit of a already pre-show of what ships are going to be planned for the Italian BB tree. So on tier 4 we have the Dante Alighieri. Also, I apologize for any Italian viewer here because I'm going to absolutely slaughter your ship names, but I'm doing it with passion. Just like I do it for Giulio Cesare, which I know I officially mispronounce, but I love it this way better than the old-fashioned way.
Until you don't ask us to do it, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, what's the tier 5's name, Shonai?
Conte di
Cavouri.
So
I just will read it on Russian. Conte di Cavouri.
Yeah.
Is Chrysanthus German? Yes, Chrysanthus is German, 100%. So this is why this pronunciation won't be great. So on tier 5 we have the Conte di Cavour. On tier 6 we have the Andrea Doria. On tier 7,
Easy one.
Easy one. Okay, you want to do tier 7?
No.
So on tier 7 we
Francesco
Caracciolo.
So Francesco Caracciolo. This is the way we're going to pronounce it for now. We'll have to find a fitting short name so everybody can pronounce it. Fantastic, says Alec Motorworks. Yes, fantastic, right? On tier 8 we will have the Vittorio Veneto. On tier 9 there will be the Lepanto. And on tier 10 there will be the Cristoforo Colombo. Yes. And we also brought you some videos, and I can also talk a bit about the specs because I printed them out so I can take a look at the stats because I cannot remember all of them, chat, right? So we'll actually take a look at the videos, and let's start off with the Andrea Doria, which is going to be the tier 6. But Shonai, do you want to tell us a bit about what makes Italian BBs special? So what's kind of the intended playstyle here?
The couple of main their features were already mentioned in the Waterline. So these are semi-armor piercing shells and exhaust smoke generator.
How does it work? Just if I'm a player, I have no idea what you mean by exhaust smoke generator.
Exhaust smoke generator is a smoke generator which hides your ship when you move at any speed you wish.
That means full speed.
Yes, of course.
So it works exactly the same way as for Italian cruisers right now.
Yes. And semi-armor piercing shells instead of high explosive shells also work as for Italian cruisers. Other features of the branch include a large number of guns with a relatively short firing range and not very good accuracy. Secondary battery, yes, with good accuracy but short range, and decent concealment and average maneuverability. Also, they are supplemented by quickly turning turrets and rather good armor, especially starting from tier 8, as they will have bow armor belt, for example, and rather good side armor. So overall, the branch of the ship is most effective in combat at medium ranges, so something like 12 to 15 kilometers, and probably even closer due to their rather good armor, quick turrets, and their semi-armor piercing shells. So that's probably it, and I believe you can do the honors of specific ships.
Yes, so for the Andrea Doria, I can give you some like main points. So it does have 45,000 hit points with the regular, for that tier 6, 26 millimeter plating. Reload time is 30 seconds. You can see here it's the turret. The turret allocation is a triple turret and double turret in the front and the same in the back. So in total you have 10 guns to fire with, and the firing range is 17.2 kilometers with a reload time of 30 seconds. And the Sigma is 1.6, because that's always a question that is asked here. They actually, especially for T6, 27 knots is quite fast, and the turning circle radius is 640 meters. The detectability for surface is 13.3 kilometers. So that should be hopefully quite nice. And you have what we just said. You already on tier 6, you have the exhaust smoke generator, you have a repair party, and you have a damage control party. So these are the consumables for the tier 6. Will Italian battleships be able to hide in anyone's smoke or just on its own? Yugi, the smoke mechanics work for all ships in exactly the same way. So you can definitely hide in any smoke, but you always have to keep in mind that we changed this mechanic a few years ago, that you cannot just sit in smoke and fire and be hidden, but it depends on your specific ship, what the range is after firing a main battery gun within the smoke. So please keep this in mind. So for example, for this ship, it would be 10.6 kilometers. So if you're sitting in a, I don't know, in a smoke from a Perth, 10.6 kilometers would be the range when you would be spotted. It works the same way for any ship in the game. Okay, then we have the tier 7 one, the Francesco Caracciolo. Let me play it for you. So here we can see, okay, this is going to be interesting. We have 4 times to 300 and actually no, I'm correct here.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I just think, wait, did somebody put here the wrong video? Yes, sorry. I blame Mr. Conway for putting the wrong video here. Give me a second. I just want to make sure that you see the correct video here. While I do this, because you saw a sneak peek of the Cristoforo Columbo with the quad turrets, and you get 4 of them. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. Let me quickly jump into.
In the meantime, I believe this question will be asked by our viewers regarding the semi-armor piercing shells penetration, because it doesn't correspond to the usual rule of, for example, high explosive shells. 320 millimeters will be able to penetrate up to 82 millimeters, and 381 millimeter will have 96 millimeter of armor piercing. So this pretty much all plating in the game, all superstructures, many of the casemate armor. So I believe there won't be much issue with firing 10 to 15,000 damage salvos.
Yes, and for this one, for the Francesco, you actually get the 381mm guns already. So you have 4x2 with a firing range of 17 kilometers and 28 seconds of reload time. 54.5k HP plus 26mm plating. Nothing special here, but starting with tier 8, so with the next ship we're going to take a look at, this is something that Shona already highlighted. The armor is going to be better. And maximum speed is already 29 knots here for the Francesco, plus a turning circle radius of 740 meters, and you get a detectability also of 13.3 kilometers. And Sigma is also 1.6 for the Francesco. Did I miss any other value? No, you get the same consumables as already on T6, so damage control party, repair party, plus the exhaust smoke generator. Duration time right now is 45 seconds, and the reload time is 180 seconds, and you get 3 charges. And then we'll move to a super beautiful ship, the Vittorio Veneto, and this one, it might look very familiar, right, to the Roma. It will be very similar in playstyle, right, to the Roma, but it will have SAP.
It will be quite different because Roma relies on her AP more, and she has. They will have some features in common, like for example armor scheme or rather good concealment. But overall, the playstyle offered by these two ships is rather different because, for example, Vittorio Veneto relies more on her semi-armor piercing shells and the distance. But I believe the distance they fight on will be relatively similar.
And that also means, because I can already see the question here in chat about Roma getting SAP, this is not planned at the moment.
No.
Yeah, so there will be a difference of playstyle. This is actually also what we want.
And also, of course, Vittorio Veneto will differ from Roma by having an exhaust smoke generator.
Yes. So you have, for consumables, when we're talking about it, damage control party, repair party, the exhaust smoke generator, plus also the choice between a fighter and a spotting plane. You do get the 3 triple turrets of 381mm, but with SAP instead of HE compared to the Roma. You get 64.8k health and 32mm plating.
HE.
What?
Not AP.
What? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Then it's my brain. Obviously, you get AP and SAP, no HE. This is the difference, right, between the Roma and the Vittorio Veneto. You also have a 1.6 value of Sigma, and the maximum firing range is currently 18.1 kilometers. Maximum speed 13 knots and detectability 14.9 kilometers. And then we don't have the tier 9 for you yet as a model, so we'll be jumping to the tier 10. And I know that's what probably most people here are actually waiting for.
I believe before moving to tier 10, we should mention that tier 9 is planned to have, if I remember correctly, four turrets of 3 guns, each of 381mm.
So that's in general, right? One of the traits, especially for the high tiers, you have a big volume of guns, but with a lower caliber.
Yes. In comparison to other branches, yes.
I think before we will move to tier 10, we also should talk about Sigma, because we see a lot of comments regarding this, and Sigma 1.6 is too low. Yes, it's too low, because they have a lot of guns, especially tier 10 ship. But need to understand, the more you have guns and your maximum dispersion is still quite the same to another BBs, and more guns, they still will shoot in this,
Yes.
in this zone of dispersion. Yes, it's less shell will shoot into center of this zone, but they still will be here. It doesn't mean that if you have a big Sigma, low Sigma, that shells will fire anywhere but not in a target you shoot. That doesn't mean that they will in your maximum dispersion zone will shoot not closer to center but more
To the edges.
to the edges.
Another thing which is worth mentioning, if anyone likes Pommern, she has 1.5 Sigma, for example, with 12 380 millimeter guns.
Exactly. And I know you guys like this ship. Because I've seen the survey results, and I know the ship is great. So yeah, keep in mind that Sigma is not the only value that represents the accuracy of a ship. In general, it is one of the values that is responsible for how accurate a ship is. But as Vesari explained, there are more values to this, and obviously this is still work in progress, and we're testing these ships with these values. So this is the base value, and as you can see, for example, with the American Battleship split that we're doing in the next updates, we are still tweaking that, and we will do the same for the Italian BBs because we want them to be balanced and to be fun to play.
Another popular question which I see now is, where is tier 3 ship? We won't have tier 3 ship. We decided that the ship on this tier not so much popular, and we decided to start it from tier 4. We'll see how it works, but for now this branch won't have tier 3 battleships.
And also regarding the question where are the stats of other battleships in the branch, they will be published later, then the ships will enter the test.
Okay, thank you. There's an interesting question here from Z Jotun. He's asking, are Italian secondaries SAP?
No, they are HE.
Okay, so guys, then I'll show you the video for our Cristoforo Colombo, and you can see here, especially if you take a look at the main turrets, this is going to be the main feature here, right? You have 4 times quad turrets, so 16 guns in total, 381 millimeter guns, also with the choice between either AP or SAP. And the firing range here is 18.9 kilometers. So it's definitely not like a super long range sniper, but you actually have to be closer to the action. And you have a reload time of 38 seconds, which is due to the amount of shells you can actually pump out, right?
Yes. Like the total damage output of the ship is based on several factors, including reload time, number of barrels, and its accuracy, and the base damage value of the shell. And if you have like semi-armor piercing shells in such a huge amount, then having quick reload or awesome accuracy will result just in the ship being very powerful, too powerful.
Exactly. So this is the current starting value for us with 38 seconds. The Sigma is also 1.6 here. So obviously, chat, don't lose your shit about this, saying, oh no, it has 38 seconds. Yes, it's a longer reload, but you also have a bigger volume of shells. And we'll see how it performs, and if we need to make any adjustments in either way, then we'll obviously keep you informed. I also see that it has actually quite a lot of secondary guns here, and they look quite nice. So they do give you the opportunity to also use secondaries and go in for a brawl, right? But they don't have the same range as, let's say, for example, German secondaries.
They have a rather low range. For example, Cristoforo Colombo will have a range of basic range of 5 kilometers, but they will have a rather good accuracy, and there's really a lot of them.
Yes, and you were talking about the armor pattern being very good starting from tier 8. So how can you use, for example, Cristoforo Colombo?
In case of Cristoforo Colombo, it has right now, please remember that this is just before even the actual balance test started. It has 55 millimeters of deck armor. It has a full-length bow armor belt, and it has fully submerged citadel. It's fully underwater, and the ship has 400 millimeter main armor belt, which is not exposing citadel. This is casemate armor, and the citadel has a small turtleback. Sorry. So these ships have a rather decent armor. They also mentioning something worth for a brawling ship. The turret rotation speed is, if I remember correctly, yes, it's 30 seconds for 180 degrees turn. So this ship will be quite sturdy under fire, and it has also rather low detectability, which is second to, if I remember correctly, to Conqueror, with basic range of 16.4 kilometers. So, and also its maneuverability is average. So together with huge salvos of semi-armor piercing shells, with exhaust smoke generator, with rather low concealment, you will be pretty efficient at range of about, for example, 12, 13 kilometers, when you have a massive salvos, which will either way deal a lot of damage despite some of shells missing.
Especially if you will take into account that these ships have an exhausted smoke generator, which will allow to you or either to come closer to your enemies and just punch them by your salvo, or retreat, just hiding from enemies' fire and just go to, restore your HE by repair party.
Indeed. Hit points, because I saw the question here. So it has 89.9 thousand hit points with 32 millimeter plating. Then the secondary range, just to say this, 5 kilometers, right, for the amount of secondary armament we can see here. The maximum speed is 29.6 knots with the turning circle radius of 960 meters. The rudder shift is 18 seconds. And in terms of available consumables, you have damage control party, repair party, the exhaust smoke generator, plus a fighter or spotting aircraft. And yes, I see a few comments about, okay, what is the fun in waiting 38 seconds to shoot your guns? Well, I mean, you can also reduce the amount of time that it takes to reload the guns if you want to go for that, instead of, for example, for range. That is up to you whether you want to reduce it with modules. But overall, yes, with that volume of shells, the reload is at least currently planned to be higher than, for example, for other tier 10 ships that might have less guns. It's a balancing factor, because otherwise it would be broken. But this is currently our plan. We'll see how it performs in the test, and then we'll let you know whether we're going to make any changes. Any other values you guys are missing? I saw the question. 1.6 sigma is the same as before, and maximum dispersion is 251 meters. Yes, so Italian BBs coming soon to a test near your ships.
It will be the third medium or close range branch of battleships, and I really hope to see it in action. I really like playing both German and Soviet battleships, and Italians with their features, with their different approach to close or medium range fighting, will be like a breath of fresh air, I believe.
Yep, indeed. So there is a question here about the anti-air. How would you rate it? Good, okay, poor?
Let me double check and see, but it won't be that easy. Yeah, the continuous damage is rather good, but the range itself is low. It's like with Venezia, which has lower range of her AA, but rather good damage itself.
Okay, and then a question here about the AP performance. So is the AP performance equal to Roma, or like how do these 381 millimeter guns from the Tech Tree ships compare to, for example, the Roma?
And there should be nothing like non-average in terms of their performance. They are like what you would expect from these shells and those guns. So,
okay.
This is not like the rail guns of Roma, for example.
Good. And I see here another question. What about the detectability after firing main guns in smoke? 15.1 kilometers for Cristoforo Columbo. Obviously, all of these values you will be able to find in roughly 15 minutes on our development blog, where you can take a look at the ships. You can take a look at all of the detailed values of the 4 ships that we've showed you.
In 45 minutes.
Oh, in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So in 45 minutes, you'll be able to find all of this on our development blog, so you can take a deeper dive into the stats. But as usual, keep in mind, early sharing of stats. This is our current iteration of these ships, and they will go through testing, and there will be changes as usual. So I'm very happy to hear your feedback about it, but just keep this in mind. This is work in progress. And yes. Any changes to Littorio now? So Ragnar Roadblock in general, when it comes to ships that have already been released, like Italian ships in general, it will be roughly the same way as for other ships that we had. For example, when we introduced Italian cruisers, we didn't make any changes to the Duca d'Aosta, for example. These ships have been planned and balanced and released as they are. And now we're adding new ships that have different aspects to them. Like, for example, here for the Tech Tree ships, they will have SAP compared to Roma, which has AG as a choice. AP-AG versus here AP-SAP. And we're not going to change this because we also want to make sure that these ships are kind of different, right? Otherwise, they would be pretty much the same. So don't expect any changes there. Never say never, but this is something we're not planning at this point. And do all of these battleships have smoke? The smoke starts with tier 6?
I'm not sure about the earlier tiers because their stats are not ready yet. But as we have stats for tier 6, yes, they have it. All of them starting from tier 6 have them. And as for tier 4 and 5, don't know at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Here's a question about the muzzle velocity for the tier 10. Yes, I can tell you this. For AP, it's 850 meters per second. And for SAP, it's going to be 880 meters per second. And Roma and Littorio are the same ship. Yes, Davis, but while they might be the same ships, we gave them different traits in terms of what kind of ammunition they can use. And there's a difference between being able to use the exhaust smoke and not being able to use the exhaust smoke. This is just, the freedom we take when we add, for example, sister ships, that you have a different choice for what these ships can actually do. I know that, from a historical point of view, some people would love to have exactly the same ships, just with the different names. But what we try to offer is also different types of gameplay for these ships, so that you have a bit of additional choice, and it's cool to have both of them. I don't see any other big questions. There's a question about buffing Roma. So in general, when it comes to buffing, if we see that the Roma needs help, we will help her. But right now, there are no buffs that I know of that are planned for the Roma, or do you guys know anything that I don't know?
No plans to change anything with Roma.
Okay. A general question here from Rerun, who's asking the BBSAP, will it work exactly the same way as it does for cruisers? For the Italian cruisers?
Depends on what is meant, but overall, these are the shells of the same type, so they won't cause fire. They will have better ricochet angles than AP shells. They will explode as they meet the first layer of armor, where they won't, for example, reach the multi-layered armor. What else? They will have higher damage than HE shells.
Okay, but they also follow the 10% rule, yeah?
If I remember correctly, we've removed the 10% rule for SAP shells during the test of Italian cruisers.
Okay, so how much damage will deal then with an SAP shell?
As with HE, 1/3 or 1/6.
Perfect.
And this should be remembered that this is the early stage, and if it proves as too big, then of course it may be changed. Both in terms of applying the 1/10 rule, for example, and in terms of damage of the shells.
Yeah. Stefan is asking, no Italian battleships with 406mm guns. At least the ships that we showed off today are going to be equipped with 381mm, so nothing above 381. Which doesn't mean that, there's no chance in the future. There might be other Italian battleships with bigger gun values, but at least for the tech tree that we have planned right now, there are no guns with 406mm or above. So they will kill DD. So Camo, you have to keep in mind that these are still battleships compared to Italian cruisers, and Italian cruisers have a very, very decent accuracy when it comes to hitting enemy DDs, which is part of the reason why they deal so much damage to DDs. It's not just that one shell deals the damage, right? It's the amount of shells that you can land, and then the amount of damage they will apply with better angles compared to AP.
It's like, sincerely speaking, having 16 guns firing semi-armor piercing shell with like 14,000 damage, even if it deals 1/10, that's still a lot of damage dealt.
If you can hit all of them, right? That's exactly why we're doing the balancing with. They have a lot of guns, so the reload has to be higher. At least that's our concept right now, and they cannot be super accurate because then they will just nuke everything, right? I know that everybody loves to have a accurate battleship, but there needs to be a certain downside to that. So this is part of the balancing that we try to get right. So it's fun to play, but it's not broken in a sense that, it will just nuke everything left and right. Okay, cool. And chat, we still have 10 minutes to go. So if you have some questions, can also be completely unrelated to the topics that we've talked about today, feel free to drop them here in chat. We're happy to discuss them with you and see whether we can give you an answer. I saw questions, for example, about, hey, when is a ship like the Belfast 43 going to come out? These are questions we cannot answer. I know you would love to know, and I would love to tell you for the things that I know, but you know our policy for this. Once we're ready to announce it, we will announce it. Usually we don't do this on streams, so you will just have to stay tuned. But we have quite a few ships lined up to come out, and if you just keep your eye on the portal, you will always see what kind of ships are going to be currently available or when they're going to be available. Stuka Sirens here. I get a question from Bothirides.
Work in progress.
Work in progress. Good. What happened to Brandenburg? So Vessery is thinking, oh no, what are we doing? What can we say? So as far as
I just choosing what I need, what I want to say, because I need to choose between going home and going to Gulag, and I can decide what is better for me now, Tovaris. But I choose to go home, and I can't tell anything right now because to be honest, I just don't know.
Yeah, so I wouldn't expect any news for Brandenburg in the foreseeable future. As soon as we have information, we will let you know. But don't expect this ship to hit the server anytime soon. This is always something that you have to keep in mind with all of the things we announce on the dev blog, that this is stuff we're working on. But there might be changes. There might be a delay. Some of things might not happen, right? We've shared a lot of things that we've tested in the past, like different game modes or changes to, for example, CVs, how they could work. And some things happen, some things don't. We just want you to be aware of the things we're doing and give you some kind of context why we're doing it, so you know what's going on in the game. But not everything will always make it, or some things might shift back in our plan, depending on what we're doing right now. The Great Lag has a very good question. Spaghetti or lasagna?
Spaghetti.
Lasagna.
I love both, but I would probably pick spaghetti. Tagliatelle, actually. Is there a possibility of seeing HMS Incomparable in the future? So Chipmunk, just like for any other ship that we haven't released yet or haven't announced yet, there is always a possibility of us releasing ships that we haven't released yet, as long as they roughly fit into what we have in the game right now, what would be interesting for the game. We probably have some plans for some time, but we can only release a certain amount of ships at a given time. So it's work in progress, and we keep going, and we just celebrated 5 years anniversary, and I'm sure there will be many more ships in the next 5 years. So just give us some time, and as soon as we can talk about ships like we can today with the Italian battleships, we're very happy to share it with you and show it off. Will you ever buff the Tier 6 Duca d'Aosta and Tier 7 Abruzzi cruisers? So Astolfo, this is a question. I'll just answer it for the guys. We always keep an eye on balance of ships, and if we need to make adjustments, we will make them. I can't remember Duca d'Aosta or Abruzzi being in a terrible spot that they would require a buff at this point. But if you take a look at the patch notes that we release for every update, you will always see that we do gradual balancing. And we actually moved away from the way we did balancing in the past, like let's say 2 years ago. I'm sure you remember the changes that we made to the Yu-Yang, where we rather went for big incremental changes instead of step-by-step changes. Yeah, exactly. And now we actually do very small incremental changes for ships that have already been released to get to the point where we say, okay, step by small steps, step by step, to get it to a point where it's within a certain frame. Because you always have to keep in mind when it comes to balancing ships that we won't be able to have ships within the way our game works, with each ship having different strengths and weaknesses, to perform exactly the same way. You guys play them differently. There's always a certain meta going on that is in a constant change. And it won't be possible to... Good job, whoever asked that question in chat here with the poll. It will always be in a flow, right? And we cannot have all ships perform exactly the same. It's simply impossible. But we try to keep them as close as possible next to each other, and there will always be a ship that is slightly worse or slightly better depending on the situation. So this is just something you have to keep in mind when we talk about balancing. It's not easy, and we have an entire team working on this to keep it as balanced as possible. Kamikaze Planes when? This is an interesting question from Salz ist gut. I'll leave that question to you.
We don't plan to add Kamikaze because it was relatively, weapon in crisis situation for Japanese mostly, and in our game every sides start in a good balance with without any situation with how to say it bad economy and etc. This was last chance weapon, and we don't plan to make anything, especially taking into account how was dangerous it was for people who use it, especially. Our game not about that. Our game mostly about how to say it correct, about rightful fights between two equal sides in equal conditions.
Exactly. So not planned. I can understand that, because it was part of history, but this is simply something we don't want to have in the game here. Tier 10 caliber, Rustin is asking 406 or 381 millimeters. If you talk about the Italian BB, it's going to be 381 millimeters. And there was another question here. About the Imperio. Will the Imperio be a premium battleship? So no, the Imperio was a ship that we tested to test actually SAP on a BB plus smoke. And that doesn't mean that the Imperial will be a ship. It actually was just a test ship that we used for that. So it's not a ship that will be actually coming. I mean, theoretically, you could say it's actually Vittorio Veneto, right? But this, no. Medox, Vesari, I'll blame you for this. He says, have I heard right? There will be a Russian BB split. So no, we were just trolling. There's at least currently no plan for a Russian BB split, but who knows in the future, right? We are currently working on the
American Russian CV split.
So we are currently working on, for example, the American BB split, right? So that obviously opens up the door also for other branches to get a split, as we did, for example, with DDs already, or cruisers. So there's always a chance, right? Will you review the current tech tree ships that need help? SAO others. So Path Rapid, I think we kind of already answered this. We always have an eye on ships for balancing, and we'll keep doing this. Troll Ripper, and I know this question is going to be asked by many players, so I'll just ask this to you. Will we ever see Missouri or Enterprise in the shop again? Popular question here.
Not right now. We don't have such plans. Removed it. We still looking for her performance because it's sometimes quite she is quite strong, and we don't plan to back her in a closer future.
Okay. Italian CVs with SAP rockets, as Ustadi is suggesting. Who knows? Who knows? Can I ask Santa Chrysanthus to get me Belfast for Christmas? Leondrome? Maybe, maybe not. You never know. You can ask. Whether your wish is granted is a completely different question. Are either Shinano or Akagi coming to World of Warships?
No announcement, except announcement which we already did. We have a certain plan for each stream, for each public talk, and we can just announce things under that, because everything should be synced in teams inside the company, and for each thing we have her time. We announce what we going to push on a test and soon time, but we can't announce you what will be in next year, because just plans have a bigger chance to change. And if we will tell you that we are going to add after a year something, feature number 1, for example, and our plans will change, and we will, for example, postpone it for a year by different reasons, you will blame Mr. Conway again.
Okay, so what Vesri is saying, it's going to be here in a year, right? That's what I got. No, so chat. This is something that I've been telling you for the past 3 years here. When it comes to upcoming ships, we announce what we can. In terms of will Shinano, for example, come to the game? Maybe. Give us a bit of time. Maybe it will come. Maybe not. But if it comes, we'll let you know. At this point, we can neither deny nor confirm that Shinano will be added to the game. Is it?
So, just what I can add here,
is that you love Chrysanthus?
Just love Chrysanthus. Our game just achieved 5 years, and in future we have much more years, much more updates, and much more new ships. And for each ship, which especially was created, built, or just have only blue paper,
blueprints.
Yes. Blueprints, yes. With higher chance we'll add it in our game. But for each thing, it should just be right time.
So,
Chris,
yes?
I've got a question for you inspired by the current poll in chat.
I hate Conway.
Which weep ship will you choose?
So the good thing is that, and I'm super happy about this, my favorite weep ship is actually the Montpellier, because I always wanted to have a premium Cleveland, and now I got one. Because I love the Cleveland, like on Tier 6 and on Tier 8. I love both of the versions, and that's my favorite ship. I can also play something else, but that would be my favorite weep ship. And I did love to play it in asymmetric battles, because it could deal with all of the small little shits that wanted to sink my ship. I see questions here about the Franklin D. Roosevelt. There will be information soon, not today, but there will be information soon about that ship and how you can get your hands on that, but not on today's stream. So you will have to wait a bit more. And any other questions? I think with this, I'll play one battle in a weep ship for you guys, but I'll say slowly but steadily goodbye to Shona and Veseri, because it's already a bit later in St. Petersburg. And from my side, big thank you for joining us and answering so many questions and talking us through all of the cool stuff that's coming to World of Warships. I enjoyed it very much. Chat, I hope you liked it too, and I'm sure we're going to have more of this kind of content in the future. So guys, thank you very much for being here. If you want to say anything to the stream, now is the best time.
Thank you for watching us. Thank you for being and playing with us. Thank you. We love you.
All of you, you and you.
With love from Russia. Thank you. Good evening and bye.
Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye. So we'll move over here and let me just quickly mute this. So, okay, chat. You want me to play another game? Yeah. So we can do that. I'll do that for you. We'll play one match before I leave, and I'll try to answer a few questions in the background. Pelzi, I saw your comment about the Mikasa. I tried my best, man. I'm trying to get us above. I'm trying. I've been trying for the past 3 years, I think, suggesting to get a Mikasa buff, especially for the secondaries with the secondary reload booster. But I still need more pushing power to do that, actually. So let's close this. Okay, so chat, if you still have questions, I'm happy to answer whatever I can. When can I fly my own nation's flag? Go Aussie, go, says Zodiac on YouTube. Not planned at the moment, but who knows, maybe in the future. I mean, right now you have nation flags on the ships according to their nation. Play Manfred von Richthofen shows all how OP the thing is. So it's Zetron, it's one of the few tier 10s that I'm missing. I think I'm missing the Midway and the Manfred von Richthofen. I'm just not a big fan of CVs, so I'm mostly playing surface ships. As a lane collaboration part 4, maybe in the future. Troll Ripper, maybe in the future. Ustadi, absolutely, you can join the match. I'll need to select a ship, and you guys can just message me. And what ship do you actually want to see? So I have pretty much any ship in the game. I don't mind playing, for example, Arp Miyoko. Nothing better than getting other ships killed in your pink ship when it's officially pink, not because you were naughty. Montpellier, we can definitely play Montpellier. Kitakami, nice try, Robson, nice try. Roma is not really a weep ship, but Littorio would be. And I want you to test the replay. Okay, so Mr. Convoy built something. Yeah, so Mr. Conway built something today that we can use, and I'll just show you how it works. So we have a new replay functionality for the stream. So, for example, I could be sitting here and I could be waving for a few seconds and just say, Mr. Conway, thank you for making me stay in the office even longer. I love you. So, and then, I push the replay button, and then this happens. So we can actually use this in the future. And use it for some cool stuff. I hope you like it. Hashtag play Irian Chrysanthus. We can play. Siehst du die 2 Finger, Mr. Conway? Exactly. These were my special fingers for Mr. Conway. Krasny Krim. Okay, so chat, I'll give you 3 options, okay? We can play Arp Miyoko. We can play Montpellier. Or we can play, what is the other option I could give you? Oh, we could play also Takao. Yamato. Well, Yamato is not really a weep ship. I do have the Aperture Camo, though, I think. So Montpellier, I see. Oh, Montpellier. Okay, chat, thank you. I love this ship. Let's do this. And who do we have here? The Minor Jack. Can you join? Absolutely, Minor Jack. So we'll go to tier 8. Oh, and we're going to see a Littorio from Ustadi. Nice. So let me show you this beauty. Come on, isn't that beautiful? She is a very lovely ship. Very lovely ship. And I love the port. But I think... Oh, and I see my game is in German because the scrubs have been streaming in German yesterday. But this is actually my favorite port, Fjords. Every single ship looks great in that port. Not a Roma and not a beer can. Well, I mean, chat, I hope you have seen the very beautiful Kobayashi camouflage for the Roma. And no, that beer can is usually not mounted on that class. Let me quickly show it to you. Where do I have my Roma? Kobayashi camouflage. It looks amazing. I do love it. The first time I saw it, I felt like, what is that thing doing up there? But by now, I absolutely love that unique look. But yeah, we'll play the Mompi as we promised. Okay, so we're just waiting for the miner jack to ready up, and then we'll go. We are seeing the OBS webcam borders. Nice. No, this is here. Like I can actually go through it, but not outside of it, right? No, these were the borders we actually built into the streaming setup because with the whole home office setup that we had in the past few months, thanks to our beautiful coronavirus, right? A lot of people were streaming with webcams. So this is still from the webcam setup. We didn't change it for this stream. We'll fix it for the next one. Improvement needed. Exactly, Mr. Conway. Exactly. Not everybody has a green screen. I don't have a green screen at home. Read in-game chat, please. That's absolutely fine. I don't. Miner jack, absolutely fine. We'll just play. I just realized something. I killed this earlier, so that we have actually some in-game sound. Ta-da! And this is the wrong headset for this. Huh, the headset of the other PC is gone. I did not plan on having gameplay today, but now we do. When is the jingles giveaway so I make sure I don't miss it? So Chris Burnett, we are going to give you the opportunity to get the jingles commander again starting tomorrow with the Armchair Admiral stream, as far as I remember. Mr. Conway, correct? Can you make the ship noises for us? You don't want that. You really don't want that. Actually, I think this is probably a bit loud, huh? Let me know, chat. What do we have? Oh, nice. Tier 8 only battle. We do have a CV, so we need to be a bit careful. When is your captain coming to the game? Good question. Should have asked this question earlier today. We're trying, man. We're trying. We do already have commander pictures, but we're not in the game yet. The sound stutters. Oh, wait. This is a nice capture card issue that I will quickly fix. Give me 1 second. So now multitasking. Oh, no. Wait. Okay, this is always fun. Still managed to do what I wanted to do. And sound should be fixed. And shot down 5 planes. Didn't take any damage. Should be better. Fixed. Good. See? Multitasking. It does work sometimes. Okay, we'll have to reposition here in a bit. Massachusetts is trying to get us, but that's okay. I'll try to use the islands here. Sorry, I just think the sound is probably a bit loud. Kill. Yeah, going for it step by step. Step by step. Will hybrids have unlimited aircraft or will it deplete aircraft as they got shut down? It's going to be used as a consumable. So Johnny, that I don't know yet. So we'll have to see. It's too early to say. Mr. Conway, you have seen, but no Crescenta's captain picture. Yeah, look, because usually it's me who's doing the streaming. So you see me with my super pretty face, right? Are the new Easter eggs already in the game? No, not yet. Conway, can you actually confirm when they're going to be in the game? We'll definitely let you know. Okay. We should be able to use that island here in a second. I hope he doesn't get lucky here. Nope. I hope our Akisuki is not going to be too greedy here because he has only 2k health left. Okay, enemy Massachusetts is retreating. I'll take that. Of course our Akisuki died. This is what I meant. It's like, no reason to push that hard. Not against the Bismarck that is pushing into you. Could have just, like, especially in Akisuki, just sat back and farmed him, like I'm trying to do here. And I think I need to disengage here a bit. Or at least reposition. Chrysanthus, you have a blue frame around you. Fixed it. Serb Nele, blame Mr. Conway. We saw it earlier today, but I did not plan on fixing this today because it would have taken too much time from the rest of the setup, and I didn't plan to play. We wanted to have a pretty much Q&A focused session today. We don't get to, like, we do a lot of Q&A in general, right? Every stream we answer hundreds of questions, but this time we got to have special guests from St. Petersburg, so I wanted to focus rather on this, especially with the context of the Waterline video, which I hope you guys enjoyed. That was the focus. Just killed the fire, so let's use 1 AP cell and then go back to HE. Oh no, they got Ustadi. We pushed back here a bit. Don't do it. No. Don't shoot me. I'm the nice guy. Double secondaries? Not really. Not really what I want to see here. Double secondary build. Can we get him down? Not yet. And now comes the advantage of a Cleveland being able to lob over the island. Ah, okay. Somebody else took care of it. Okay, gotta run. I love that the enemy is actually pushing that hard. It's good. The miner, Jack, you are still full HP. Don't know. How come? Okay. I cannot take that fight against the Cleveland Monarch and the Turpits. Oh god. Okay, gotta disengage. Jack, you're gonna be in trouble here. You're definitely going to be in trouble. You gotta run, bro. Do you know if the USS Texas will have bomber planes? So, Psychomaniac, I've never heard about any plan of adding bomber planes to the USS Texas. So I would say that's a very, very, very close no. Half an hour, Crescenta said here, 10 minutes left. Yeah, Polish DJ, that was the plan. until Conway asked you guys to tell me whether I should play a weep ship, and I love you guys, so I did. Okay, gotta dance here with the devil. Okay, trying to fall back into concealment. Just trying to distract them a bit here. Oh, the Monarch is gone. Nice. So I can actually open up on the turrets again. And then we'll have to... He was waiting for me. Okay, maybe we can dodge him here. And then we'll focus this guy who has been really annoying. Nice. Good job. Good job, Jack. Can we get our revenge? Oh, he might be going down. Nice. Okay, I did not expect to survive this. We did. Had to play around with concealment, but that's the life of a cruiser. And Miner Jack, you survived too. GG. Not like a super crazy damage game, but we kept these guys busy. And 1.8 million potential damage, so I'll definitely take this. Chrysanthus is a map edge hugger. If I'm chased by like 5 ships and I run out of space, I sometimes do that, yes. What's your favorite anime ship? This one. By far. 99k damage, Chrysanthus? Good, good. Yeah, it's like this match I didn't really do that much damage. Got a bit unlucky with the fires, but that's okay. We kept the enemy busy. If you take a look at how many ships we dragged down here into like a completely irrelevant area of the map, our team was able to just overwhelm them on the rest of the map. This is actually something I love doing. It's just, you know, you take like 3-4 enemies, you make them chase you. They completely forget about any objectives whatsoever. They just go and chase you towards the edge of the map instead of actually focusing on objectives. Why is the potential damage not so rewarding, Ustadi? Well, it is rewarded, but it's not the only factor. Because then, you know, if you make it too high, people might just YOLO or try to farm only that. So it's always like a balancing of economical factors. When we say my team sucks, when we see my team sucks being said while playing, what would you just said we reply with? I would just say, like, I mean, it depends always on the context, right? But that is your team. You should be trying to win with them. You should communicate with them, and you would just say like, hey, dude, instead of trash talking, you should probably just focus on getting better yourself and working with your team to win this. That's the way I approach this. But you know me, like I don't see the point in trash talking the team. Yes, sometimes I will say if somebody made a mistake, but overall I try to look at what I can improve about my own gameplay, and then, you know, if my team did play poorly and the enemy team played much better, I usually give the enemy just like a GG well played, because they definitely outplayed us. Do you plan to remove the save star mechanic from ranked? It completely ruins the experience. So Grimty Reaper, this is something where this is very, very split within the community. There are people who say, hey, and I'm actually part of them, when I have a really good game, but my team didn't really do much, I still have the chance to save my star. I personally like that. I know not everybody likes this, but for me it's like a saving grace for... If I was able to, you know, contribute as much as I can to trying to win this battle, and that's okay. I know not everybody's a fan of it. Currently, with the news we've shared in the Waterline video, we're currently not planning to change this mechanic at this point, but it doesn't mean we're not going to improve ranked battles in the future. So give us a bit of time, and we'll see whether this is going to be a change in the future. Any plans on disabling chat completely to remove the saltiness? Ladindel, if you don't want to see chat, you don't have to see chat. You can just disable it. But we're not planning to remove chat. It's actually something we tried in other games, and I don't think it really serves the purpose. And in general, if you see salty guys, just ignore them. And Wookie says, thank you for the containers. You just got 2. Wookie, my pleasure. Enjoy it. Oh, there's a Murphy. When can we get a signal inventory displayed while we are on signal page in the armory? This is something that we don't have right now. So, and I'm not aware of any plans to change this. So maybe in the future as a quality of life change, but not planned in the near future. Okay, Massachusetts is going to go down any second. Boy. No, I'm down. Mwop, mwop. Give us a DD only mode. Astolfo, we actually had that with the space mode battles, right? And even with Rogue Wave mode. But it's not planned to have a class specific mode only. At least not as a permanent mode. And no, Stefan, no news about this. Replay. Oh, yeah. I should have used that replay functionality, but now 10 seconds are gone. Sorry. I need to get used to that button. Wow, he survived, actually. An idea I got to improve ranks, says Kachlan12. Perhaps you could throw it into the group. If someone is the lowest XP earner on the losing team, a certain amount of times they get banned from ranked for that season would lower the randomness. I understand where you're coming from. Banning somebody from playing a mode unless he shows really unsportsmanlike conduct, I'm not always a fan of, because you deprive people from the opportunity to become better. You know, maybe somebody's trying his ranked season for the first time. He's used to random battles. He doesn't know how to play properly, and suddenly turns into like it will be hard for him, right? And he's more likely to be on the bottom of the score than on the top of the score if he's inexperienced. So I don't think that's really great to ban somebody from that mode. While I understand that if you have somebody who's really not playing for the team, can be super frustrating in team-specific battles, like ranked. Okay, so we did this battle. Oh wow, the Vanguard had a really good game. I'll give him a +1. And RCB did a great job here as well. So, well done to our team. Enemy team tried, but they chased us for nothing. I don't mind that. We got the win. Any other questions that I saw here? Do you want to do a karma system rework? It's definitely like a part of the game we should improve at some point, but it's not our highest priority. We have a lot of other things to address, and this is currently not a priority. So, do we want to? Yes, we would like to. Are we planning it in the very near future? No. Alexa says, I got 3 Optimus Prime from Transformers containers. What can I do with 3 of them? Can you please replace my 2 Optimus for Megatron and Bumblebee? Sorry, Alexa, that's not how it works. But you can just use them on different ships. Just assign them to different ship and use them on there. Because the commander will work on any American ship with Optimus Prime. The subs from the test, will there be some more submarines with other tiers or just 7? You mean probably tier 6, right? I don't know yet, to be honest. It's probably the likeliest scenario to have it on tier 6 again. But who knows? Maybe we'll try some of the other tiers. Plans on returning of the Cheshire to the shop. So Spartan, I know that it's not banned from the shop, so there's a good chance it will be coming back. I just don't know when. What about the water effects in the game? Any improvements? Yes, we're planning improvements for the water effects. It's step by step. I think in the next update we actually have small improvements to water effects, and it's going to be a continuous process. What we're not really doing is adding realistic waves in terms of ships going properly up and down, because that has quite a bit of an impact on the gameplay experience. When is RTX coming? Well, when significantly more people have access to that feature. It's just not very, very common for users. Flint and Black for Coal next 6 months over. Artemis Morgan, I don't know exactly when they're going to come, but as soon as the 6 months are over, this is when we can start adding them for coal into the armory, which doesn't mean they will be coming immediately. And Anubhav Sharma is asking from YouTube, are H-class BBs going to be added? And will they be a tech tree splitter premiums? And what is the vision for them? So currently we don't have a set vision for them. There is a chance that it will make it into the game. Yes, but I can neither deny or confirm how that would take place. I know that H-class battleships would be interesting to have, but we'll have to see. So for this, stay tuned for more information if there is going to be any. Will we ever be able to get tier 10 ships for the balloons? I like to spend some money. I don't know, Vegas Jones. So far, we haven't added any tier 10 ships for the balloons. At least up until this point, nope. Whether it's going to be in the future, never say never, but I think it's unlikely. How about a special event with teams by ship nations, for instance, German ships versus Soviet ships and so on? So old days, this is a cool concept. It's tricky to implement because especially how it works in our game is that each nation has specific traits, right? So if you have a one-on-one that is not randomly distributed with different nations with different aspects, you might actually have a big discrepancy in what these teams would be good at and whether they would complement each other well as a fleet. Overall, it's a cool idea, and I think that modes like asymmetric battles that we tested might actually open up the door for something like this. Maybe, maybe not, but that would actually be going into that direction. Are you planning on adding another CC as a captain? Very, very selfless question. I don't think in the foreseeable future, but we'll see. Maybe at some point. Can you please answer my in-game message? Thanks, Chrysanthus. I can take a look at it, but you could have just asked it right here. Any plans for most damage dealt ribbons? Yoyoxi, not to my knowledge. And, the Miner Jack is asking, I could buy the Salem Thunderer right now with 6k steel. Would you recommend it? I kind of also want a starting guard, but I'm not in the clan right now. What do you recommend? Okay, so my recommendation is if you have a coal ship that is right in front of you, and you still have some steel left over that would make up for the difference, don't use the steel. Steel is hard to get by. Steel has to be earned with salt and tears quite often. So don't use the steel. Just keep playing a bit and you will get the coal. And when it comes to earning steel, even if you're not really somebody who's in a clan, we're actually going to be adding a feature called Mercenaries to the game, where you can participate in clan battles as a mercenary for a clan that might not have enough people to field a full CBC team. So you can actually participate and you can do the missions, get your steel while you're not even part of a clan. My personal recommendation, go be part of a clan, even if that clan is not super active, but you can get additional boni in the game, or bonuses, whatever you want to call it. If Evan is still in the background, then I mean boni. You can get quite a bit of nice rewards for being in a clan. So rather join one. There's no real obligation by being part of a clan, and there are super relaxed clans out there that you can find and just division up with. And I think that's going to be it for me for today. It's already 8:30, and it's been a long day. So, chat, it was a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I hope you got a lot of answers about the upcoming stuff that we have in the game. I now need to find somebody who I can raid with our channel here on Twitch. Steam and YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned a lot about what's going to come into the game. For Twitch, we will raid somebody. I actually need to open this up in the background, but it was a pleasure as always having you guys here, answering your questions, being part of this community. And don't forget, so what's going to happen in the next few days? Tomorrow, starting from 8 o'clock Central European Summer Time until probably like 10:30. We're going to be having the next Armchair Admiral stream. So they will be able to meet Mr. Conway. Also, Tucky is going to be here, plus DrakenFL and the almighty Jingles. So if you're interested in history and warships and all of this cool stuff, then this is going to be the perfect stream for you to tune in. Then on the weekend, because obviously streaming on Thursday and Friday is not enough, we're going to have the regional finals for King of the Sea, which means we're going to be streaming here from the EU office the EU regional finals. We'll also be able to see the NA regional finals. And we have a special Twitch drop coming up for King of the Sea container throughout the weekend. And then in 2 weeks' time, there's going to be the international finals where you can get a second container. So that should help you complete your amazing King of the Sea collection. And whew, that's it. That's everything I can think of right now. Don't forget to finish your Strong Willed campaign, because that's going to be ending in like 2 weeks' time. So be like me, grind it so that you can get your commander, Mr. Jersey Schwarsky. And I still haven't checked who we're going to raid, so give me 1 moment, please. Who is currently streaming World of Warships? Feel free to drop some suggestions in here in the chat. Who are we going to be raiding? A lot of choice here, a lot of choice. But we're going to be raiding somebody who's usually streaming in the morning, so I'm very happy to see him playing right now. It's I know that Mr. Conway hates me for doing this, but we're going to unleash the apocalypse, so please just spam !poi into his chat, and it's Mr. McCavity. Long time CC, really cool guy, a lot to learn about the game from him, and we'll raid him together. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the other side on Saturday, Sunday for streamings. A lot of streamings, so be there, join us, and let's have some fun. Bye-bye.